Some cars you buy as a means of getting around. Some cars you buy because you want to appear better than you actually are. Some cars you buy because you have too much money, or not enough. But some cars you buy because you just feel drawn to them. This is one of those cars. The Jaguar XF debuted in 2007. Ex-Aston Martin designer Ian Callum delivered the goods on the successor to the Jaguar S-Type, a car that, thanks to Ford's money, was solid and mechanically well executed, but leaned a little Old English when it came to the styling. The new XF, however, was much better received, and with this, Jaguar had an executive car that could credibly compete with the big Germans. There was a well-sized range and good options, right up to the snarling, supercharged XFR. Prices in the used market vary depending on region, but as with anything, you want to go for the best one you're prepared to pay for. The one I've got here is probably in the value range. It's a luxury, which is the base spec. You do miss out on a few things that are a little surprising. There's no HID headlamps or fog lamps, no adjustable lumbar support, and no keyless entry. But what this car does have going for it is the AJD 3-litre diesel engine. The twin turbos help it produce a respectable 271 horsepower, but what's more impressive is 600 newton meters of torque. Coupled to a well-sorted 6-speed ZF gearbox, you've got a drivetrain that is perfect for the mission objectives of this car. Around town it's respectable, and when you get out on the road it makes you wonder why so many revheads hate diesel. The car feels solid but not overly heavy. There's hardly any turbo lag to write home about, and whereas big petrol cars will deliver 15 to 20 litres per 100 in city driving, the efficiency of the diesel sits just around 12. Just make sure to get in a long run to keep that DPF nice and clean. Like many Jaguars, it's a nice beast to drive. The Germans, even with their most basic of cars, have, since the mid-2000s, been coming out with Nürburgring-tuned suspension, which delivers a perpetually hard ride. But the XF, well, you could stay here all day. Sure, you know the bumps are there, but you also feel as though it's being your butler. It's taking care of them. The fact that it's rear-wheel drive, as opposed to the Audis and Volvos of the world, means they haven't had to fit a transfer case, giving Jaguar a weight saving they can spend on a graceful and serenely quiet interior. Now let's talk about the build quality. The IT crowd has taught us that made in Britain means your fire extinguishers burst into flame, so you understand that in the past English manufacturing and quality control have not been synonymous. British Leyland sold you a vehicle that was built during the breaks the workers had from being around a brazier out on strike. Luckily though, during the Ford ownership years, the build quality of Jaguars improved dramatically. Looking at this 10-year-old car, we still have some foibles. The roof lining is coming off, the blend door in the air vents has broken, and the quality of this speaker cover wasn't enough to stop something small enough to get in that gap from breaking it. I have an Audi A6 of the same vintage, and these are problems that it doesn't share. But the underlying car feels very solid, and gives me confidence that I could live with it for years to come. And then there's the looks. Even the worst mechanical Jaguars were still lusted after by men and boys alike. And the premium aspirational brands understand desirability and the effects it has on owners. Hyundai will never get away with much in the way of reliability. The owners will just go somewhere else. But Jaguar, well, it has a way of making you reach into your back pocket time and time again. Just look at the interior. The spinning air vents, up and down shift knob, and cool interior lighting. This was miles ahead of its time, but still somehow reserved. So, the Jaguar XF. If you're a heart-led but head-conscious car buyer, you just have to try one.